You can only pick one player to start. Who would you go with? Maliq Brown or Donnie Freeman? You guys voted.
You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
It's Friday, March 29th, and you know what that means now on the Locked On Syracuse podcast. It's Poll Friday, where I asked a question on Twitter and YouTube and put it in a poll format for you guys to respond. And then I answer that question every single Friday here on Locked On Syracuse. I'm Jackson Holzer. Thank you for making us your first listen of every single day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And for this edition of Poll Friday, I asked a very simple one. Next season, I know it's early, but if you could only start one player, would it be Maliq Brown or would it be Donnie Freeman? And the results are in. So I counted them up both on Twitter and on YouTube. There were 424 total votes, I think making this the most engaged Poll Friday, at least in the last few weeks that I have done. 424 votes. And the winner with 59% was Maliq Brown to start over Donnie Freeman if you had to choose just one. Now, before I get into how I feel about it, there were many of you who said start both. And here's the thing. I don't mind having both on the floor at the same time, especially in late game situations, and the fact that also Donnie Freeman can shoot the three ball. But that would require to play one of them out of position. And ideally, you wouldn't want to do that. So you can only pick one guy to start. Plus, you need more size on the floor. We talked about this, I believe, last week on Poll Friday, where you guys said the biggest need was size and rebounding. We need more size out there, so unless you're planning on playing one of them at the three, if you're playing one of them at center, you're going to once again be undersized. So it's not both, but I wouldn't mind seeing it at some points next season. I would go right now with Maliq Brown too. I think Maliq Brown is the very safe choice. He's an all-defensive player. You know, even though he was a center, he only had the most steals for a center in the history of the ACC in a single season. That's true. You can look it up. So Maliq Brown, great defensive player, can give you 10 points a game, also 7 rebounds, and he hung tough at the center position. And next year, you'd hope that he's starting in his traditional power forward because that's what he is. But Maliq Brown is also a power forward, which is what really makes this question very interesting. You can never have enough good players. Maliq Brown is definitely the safe choice because he's going to be a junior next season. All defensive player. A lot of people think he has NBA potential. I do too. I just think he needs to develop a shot more because right now, if you were to go to the NBA, he would be an undersized 4 that can't really shoot. Kind of a problem. But if he can develop a shot, he could be a 3 in the NBA potentially. But right after this, I'm going to talk about why ultimately, yes, I know it's early, but really there's no correct or incorrect answer to this question. This episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Clear out that winter bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flowers. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code LOCKEDON for 20% off plus free shipping. Introducing the season's champ, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. It also features dual LED spotlights to guide you through the darkest winter debris. Navigate with confidence in your delicate areas. Hate making a mess? Not to worry, this bad boy is waterproof. Shave in the shower, in the bath, or even the ocean. I love this thing because it comes with a compact case. I take it with me everywhere I go. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LOCKEDON at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code LOCKEDON at manscaped.com. Nothing like a little spring cleaning in your pants. This week's March Madness bracket highlight is brought to you by our friends at Nissan. Each week, we're picking one team that stands out, a team that's pushed it further than the rest. Just like any of the all-new 2024 Nissan SUVs, these guys were able to take it to the next level. The Yukon Huskies can only be described as an Armada. This one seat is as hardcore as it gets out there, so it's no wonder they secured a spot in the Elite Eight and will battle Illinois in the Elite Eight for a chance to play in the Final Four. They're a favorite pick by many to make a run for a championship. Take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. Here on this Friday, March 29th, I'm Jackson Holzer on the Locked On Syracuse Podcast. It's Poll Friday, where the question for this week was, who would you start, Maliq Brown or Donnie Freeman? Maliq Brown got 59% of the over 400 votes that were cast by you guys. And hey, if you want to vote for Poll Fridays, well, there are 2 ways you can do that. You can go to Locked On Syracuse Twitter, which is at @LO_Syracuse, and also on the YouTube community page where I'll post the question there as well. And if you want to vote both and kind of skew the results, you can do that too. I don't check how many times you vote, so you can do that. Totally fine. But anyways, Maliq Brown got 59%. He is definitely the safe option. But ultimately, here's the real answer. Who's better? Who's better? I don't know. How good is Donnie Freeman right away? Because here's the thing. Don't discount freshmen starting. Don't. Just because the man above him is a junior and is an all-conference defender and can give you 10 points and 7 rebounds, maybe Donnie Freeman is better heading into next season. Now, I know Maliq Brown truthers don't want to hear that, but it's true. It's totally possible. You never know with freshmen. Remember Judah Mintz, highly ranked freshman, started day one and was ready day one. It wasn't just out of necessity with him. Benny Williams was the opposite. He wasn't ready day one. And, well, never really quite developed. There's others. Rakeem Christmas comes to mind. He was a top-ranked recruit and didn't really blossom until his senior year. And, of course, the big one in Syracuse history, which is Carmelo Anthony leading the team to its only NCAA tournament championship in 2003 as a freshman. I'm not saying Donnie Freeman's going to be Carmelo Anthony, but what my point is that you don't know right away what a freshman and his impact is going to be. He could be ready right off the bat, and if he's ready right off the bat, you start him. If that means moving Maliq Brown on the bench, so be it. I want ultimately the player that starts, if it's only between those two, to be the best one. I don't want Adrian Autry making the decision based on anything other than who is better. That's it. I don't care who has more potential. I want to know who's better. That's who should start day one ultimately. Maliq Brown is certainly the safe choice right now because he's more experienced. You know what you're getting from Maliq Brown, and you can see that untapped potential in him if he can develop an outside shot, which he started experimenting with during this season. But Donnie Freeman is coming in as a 5-star recruit, as high as top 10 in the country. And if you look at what scouts are saying, he can score, he can rebound, he can play defense, and most importantly, he can shoot. He's got an outside shot to him. So maybe he's ready day one, and he's better than Maliq Brown. And that's a good thing, because as I have said so many times, you can never have enough good players. And if you find someone, and if Donnie Freeman is better than Maliq Brown right off the bat, that would do wonders for this team, because there are so many different ways you can go and attack that. Maybe you do start both. Maybe you do. So that's it for this edition of Poll Friday. I'm Jackson Holzer. Every single Friday, I'll release a 10 to 12-minute video discussing a question that I post on Twitter and YouTube that you guys vote on. Sometimes it's a little bit more cut and dry, like this one. Other times it's a little more open-ended. That's Poll Friday for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, click that like button. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so you know right away when the next podcast is dropping. Stay tuned for Saturday when segment of the week drops. And other than that, well, if any news breaks, I'll be on it. But the podcast will return on Monday. Take care, everyone.